Hey everybody, and welcome back to the GSL round of 16. This is Group B. I'm Artosis, and with me is absolutely nobody because Tasteless is sick today. Calder and Wolf are in Hong Kong, and that just leaves me and my stream of consciousness while I watch these games with you. Our first match has finished. Marine King took out Hack 2-1. I feel like Marine King really outplayed Hack. He showed that he is a different level. No question about it. Marine King playing well today. Our next match, YoDa against HyuN. And it's going to be on Abyssal City. Going to be kind of a hard starting mat for YoDa. But anyways, these are the two that I actually feel like might get out of this group. Now, after seeing Marine King is playing well today, it's a little bit harder to say that. But still, these guys are complete badasses right now. I have so much that I can say about them. But I think we're going to start in a second. So I guess I'll just wait for the early game. Because in TVZ, normally nothing happens in the early game. So I'll save that. Yeah, that's what I'll do. All right, we're starting. This is the GSL. Brought to you by Artosis. YoDa against HyuN.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Vegas.
I love that music. It's so good. Somebody's got to link me to that stuff. All right. Over here on the right side of the map, our Red Terran, he is...
HyuN YoDa.
Skilled with the Terran, he is. 5-5 in his recent 10 games. And then over here, to the left, he is a sick, badass online Zerg. His ID is...
GSL HyuN.
Alright, so let's talk about these guys. Oh, look at that, 6-4. Yeah, see, I told you, 6-4 is the trend of the group in the recent 10 games. 3 of them being 6-4. One of them 5-5, very close to 6-4. Within one game, in fact, believe it or not. Okay, so, HyuN. Let's talk about him just for a moment here, because there's a lot of hype around him right now. He's won a sick amount of money online. And he's won 14 IPL Fight Clubs in a row. And now, for those of you who don't know what IPL Fight Club is, IPL is one of these tournament organizations that's out there, and they run this weekly show match, basically, and it's best of 9s. And it basically, they grab 2 players and play a best of 9 for a certain amount of money. And the winner stays for the next week. And there's like a bounty on their head and stuff like that. So at this point, if you beat HyuN, you make a lot of money. HyuN's made a ton of money because he's won 14 in a row. You know, the Fight Club isn't old enough to be like, well, this could never happen. But it shouldn't really happen. It's really outstanding that he's been able to do that this far. Now, I do want to point out that HyuN did drone scout. He's going to be drone scouting all day. He's a drone scouter. And he sees exactly what's going on. And in fact, he'll even see the gases. So there's like a lot of intel that he's gained here. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit more about HyuN and what he's done recently. What he's done recently. HyuN, you know, offline he hasn't been playing as well as he plays online. He plays a lot of cups. He plays tournaments in the European server, which I can't even begin to tell you what the lag is like. You'd have to see it yourself. Like, I would rather play less StarCraft games per day, not play StarCraft, but less StarCraft games per day and then watch more VODs, I guess, than to play on the European server from Korea, because it's terribly laggy. But he'll do it. There's some lag in while playing on the US server as well, and he does a lot of that. And I mean, he plays countless online tournaments, wins a ton of them. And he shows so much skill, and in fact, Symbol, one of the best Zergs in the world, also in the round of 8, said that he thinks HyuN is actually better than him, and Symbol has had amazing results so far. Not a championship yet, but still, he's done so well. And when you watch HyuN, you can see it, especially in these online cups where he just does so well. Now, YoDa, on the other hand, that's a really good scout right there. Sees that he's still mining gas. That was important. But anyways, YoDa, I talked about him either 1 or 2 seasons ago, how this is a guy, looking at him, it's like, okay, this guy is eventually going to be a Codes mainstay. Don't know exactly when, but it's coming, because he's always practicing like really solid, good styles that really bring up your overall skill level, but make it hard for you to like randomly advance through before it's time, before you're just considerably better than everyone. When you play just kind of a macro style all the time, you have to be a lot better than everyone, which you will get by doing this a lot, to actually beat them consistently, because it's hard to like grind out like that. But anyways, long story short, we were talking about that before in GSL, and look at this. He's actually bringing his SCVs up. He's a little bit scared right now. This is interesting. That Space Shark can't hurt you. But anyways, he saw that gas was mining, and he's a little bit nervous right now. Right now we have 2 Lings on the map, so this is actually an incorrect decision, but what a decision it is. And this is one of the reasons why I feel like YoDa is someone that can get out of this very hard group. He's been playing fantastically so far. In his round of 32 group, he played like a god, got first place. Of course, that group was, I believe that was the... Was that a group with HyuN before? HyuN, Rain, and Gumiho? I think it was. But anyways, YoDa just made a really difficult decision. Really impressive and difficult decision to send those SCVs away. And that type of stuff can make champions right there. But anyways, it was wrong. It's actually the other point that we have to point out here. But better safe than sorry, I guess. Now, the HyuNs go over here, and they actually stop that drone that was going down right then. So it delays that just slightly, not a big deal going on. He is going Banshee with this, so Banshee HyuN is going to be pretty useful against someone that's going for Infestors. It's pretty quick Infestors, though, here from HyuN. Now, let's take a look-see. No cloak or anything like that, and he's actually adding another factory, so it looks like YoDa wants to go for some mech play here. And we've seen mech a little bit on this map. It's pretty interesting, because the map is big, it is long, but don't forget, Terrans are getting better and better at playing mech against Zerg, and in fact, YoDa has done this recently. We've seen Gumiho doing it recently. Just yesterday, we saw HyuN doing it a little bit, and Terrans are getting very good against Broodlord. They found out that, in fact, Broodlord-based armies are so slow that you can actually multi-pronged attack with siege tanks, and it works. So we'll see how late and far this game goes, but the way it's looking right now is that this game will be a very long game. I don't see anyone gearing up for any sort of timings of any sort. Yeah. But I mean, it looks like they're both getting ready for the super long game. The extra hatches here from HyuN, the evolution chambers, the fact that YoDa's making missile turrets right now. He's actually a little bit nervous. He's also made a lot of Vikings, which is something that we saw Gumiho do recently, get a lot of Vikings early on. And this would be very good against him if he was going mutas, but in fact he's going not for mutas, but instead for Infestors. So those missile turrets obviously not going to be so useful. The Vikings not going to be useful until later game. But that's okay, because he also does have the Banshee tech, and the Banshee tech is going to be pretty useful against them. Now, he is making a decent amount of siege tanks. Notice we haven't seen any Thors yet, even though he does have that armory. And part of that is because he's made the missile turrets, and he's made the Vikings. And not having any Thors means you can get your siege tanks out a little bit quicker, which means you can safely take your third base, like really, really safely take your third base a little bit quicker. Now, those Infestors, that is, look at that. Ooh, cute move right there. I like it. And nice chain fungal going down. Ends up only killing a couple of units. But the Infestors will get away. All of them, it looks like. And yeah, I mean, YoDa is stable right now. He's completely stable, and you notice in the production tab, 11 drones get started. So what HyuN realizes right now is the fact that based upon the units he's seen, what he's fungled and whatnot, there's no attacking coming. There's absolutely not. YoDa cannot move out for a long time. He doesn't have anything mobile or anything like that. Ooh, that's a little bit of a mistake. Oh, not going to scan. Not sure if... I think he's not even sure if that infestor's still up there, if he ever ran or something. But he's trying to harass a little with these. Look at that SCV pull. Did you see that? He pulled that red SCV off of the turret to save it. YoDa is starting to look godly. Like, these are little tiny things that I'm pointing out that you might not be excited about. Maybe some of you are, maybe some of you aren't. But these are the type of things that you look at and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm watching StarCraft 1, which is a game that people were pro gamers in for, you know, 12 years or something. And these little tiny things are things that, like, the top-end pros could do. And to see people starting to do that in StarCraft 2 after the game has only been out for 2 years and some months, very impressive. So anyways, YoDa is completely stable right now. HyuN is completely stable right now. Now, one thing that kind of I'm interested in that I see... Ooh, he's going to lose that. Yeah. That's a good kill there for HyuN, who's actually dealing with the Banshees reasonably well, but YoDa a little bit inattentive. Now, when you see Infestor Tech, normally you like to have a good number of Banshees with Cloak because it takes ridiculous amounts of energy to actually kill them off. And the fact that he's skipping that and he's just adding more factories, getting second armory, all that stuff, instead of focusing a little bit more on keeping the Infestors low on energy and picking them off, means that he's going for, like, an even longer game than you would expect. Because if he was going to move out soon with a slightly smaller economy, a slightly smaller infrastructure, he'd need more energy off of the Infestors. But instead, he doesn't really care about that right now. And he's just going to keep on working on himself and get the ultimate, you know, set of units, the ultimate composition, that type of thing. He's doing it all completely methodically, which is exactly how you should play mech. And there's no way for HyuN to bust him. So this is getting, like, crazy. This game should be very long. Very, very long. They are both setting themselves up beautifully. Now, we do have some Hellions going through, and he's just seeing what he can get done with these. These aren't, like, a big deal. His strategy doesn't hinge on this. Look, he's gotten a couple through their blue flame. He might kill a little slew of drones, and he's also getting scouting intel. And that's really important. To even see that the Hive is going, he's going to have to realize, okay, have to add starports very soon here. He can't know how far along that Hive is, so I want to see starports thrown down, like, immediately. He hasn't done so yet, but hopefully he does it very, very soon, because he's going to need a lot of Viking production. Now look at this, a little wall of command centers. Not sure if those will both be planetaries or those will be orbitals or what. Hard to say what YoDa has planned, because he's kind of playing mech like it's played in StarCraft 1 on a level that we don't see often in StarCraft 2 yet. A little bit of harassment still going on from HyuN. Still trying to find ways to hurt his opponent here. And he looks like he's going to go for a little bust here. Now, he is not sieged up, so that could be a little bit of an issue, but Planetary doing a lot of buffering. Thing is, these infested Terrans are going to be really scary, and in fact, he just targeted down a lot of those infestors. Beautiful targeting there by YoDa and reducing that infestor count. That was awesome. He lost almost nothing there. And now HyuN has lost quite a few infestors. He's down to 13 at this point. And he totally didn't do what he wanted with those. Now, YoDa is starting to push forward a little bit, but he's got to be super careful. He hasn't added those starports, and that's the one flaw that we've seen so far on him. It looks like he wants to max out and hit a push right before Broodlords, but that's not going to happen here. With this many infestors, the fact that the map is this long, and the fact that the Greater Spire is almost done, there's just no chance. So he needs to start getting much more anti-air. If he's caught with his pants down against 9 Broods, which is... He made 9 Corruptors, right? Yeah, 9 Corruptors he made, so he could make 9 Broods, and those could really ruin YoDa's day and his strategy. All right, so anyways, YoDa right now... still solid, but 8 Broods on the way at the moment. A lot of Lings also in production. There they are. Now, his Infestor count is at 11. It's a pretty decent Infestor count. Could have been a little bit more if YoDa hadn't targeted well. Still trying to do a little bit of counterattack. And I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a planetary pretty soon. That'd be pretty solid against counterattacks. Anyways, he is being pretty reactive because of that sensor power. Ling's trying to get in and do what they can, but it's not going to be too much. What those Lings are doing, those Lings don't matter to HyuN right now, okay? He doesn't have a ton of larva, but he has enough. He has, you know, right now at this thing he has 14, but whatever. But he's just trying to slow down YoDa, keep him on his side of the map while HyuN gets exactly what he wants. And look at this, he's adding 5 queens. So he wants to hit a lot of transfusions, and he wants those as additional anti-air. So I like that choice. It's really cool to see. Now, we do have him moving forward right now. Oh my god, that's some beautiful fungal growths going down. The Viking count very low, and great fungals going down on them as well. And in fact, YoDa losing a lot here. These Broodlords dealing huge amounts of damage. Why are his Siege Tanks still up here? It looks like he's trying to... Sometimes you see people leave their Siege Tanks in the battle a little bit longer because they're trying to target infestors down. But if you lose all your Siege Tanks, you're just going to lose anyways, because then they can make anything they want to kill you with roaches or do a tech switch, whatever. But he's losing way too much right now. YoDa has set himself up very nicely, but his anti-air simply is non-existent at this point. And HyuN is just pushing through here with ease, as we see. I mean, he's got 5 bases. YoDa, sure, you have 4 bases. Sure, you still have a decent amount of supply, but only 4 Vikings out right now against this army. That's not going to be enough. GG. All right, so in that game, HyuN played extremely well. I don't remember anything off the top of my head right now that HyuN really did wrong there. He played very well. Just the right decisions, the right little harassments, all that. Now, YoDa actually played damn well himself, except even though he scouted that hive, you know, I think he thought the hive probably just started or something, because if it had, there wouldn't be that many Broodlords. The timing he was moving out on would have worked a little bit better, but you can easily see that through a single scan, through sending 1 unit over. You need to add those extra starports with mech. You need more Vikings in that. You know, what if he has those extra Vikings? What if he has a couple Thors? Then the game goes on and it goes really long, but I'm really surprised that YoDa did everything else so well and didn't have the anti-air he needed. Like, he engaged with something like 7 Vikings. He didn't even have a Thor in there, which I'm fine with not having the Thor in there. You know, they have to have a lot of corruptors for the Thors to really be super valuable in that composition, but yeah, it was a bit odd. Anyways, next map, gonna be Cloud Kingdom. Of course, this is YoDa's choice, and I feel like he's gonna mech. YoDa's been meching a lot recently. Cloud Kingdom, gonna be a pretty strong map for mech overall. I really do like mech as a choice here. You know, there's having 2 entrances into that 3rd base is something that helps out for the harassment with your Hellions, and of course, you know, you've got all these ramps and hills and interesting locations to siege up tanks. So it's a good choice of a map by YoDa. So anyways, this is the GSL. I'm Artosis. Tasteless is sick at home, and this is game number 2 of YoDa against HyuN. Here we go.